I think this counts as a rivalry. I think Texas Tech. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, this was like everyone's favorite rivalry. It was like, ooh, they stole our coach. And now nobody wants to remember that he coached there at either of those schools. So, a rivalry, right? It's a rivalry.
It is a rivalry because of the precedent set by the former um uh coaches with issues who went head to head, and yes, it was both of them. The game's definitely lost a little bit of its I think of its intensity and hatred for sure. Uh but yeah, it's just a little different when it's Chris Beard versus Mark Adams than when it's Rodney Terry versus Grant McCaskillin.
With that said, I think we like both coaches here, right? You're a Rodney Terry
I do.
guy.
Let's not get this twisted. I like both coaches. I
Okay.
do. Also a nice change of pace for the rivalry that both the coaches are good people.
Yeah, that is a really refreshing element to this, isn't it? Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. I wish that both basketball teams were good basketball teams, though.
Yeah, I do too because especially this game to me is about my Longhorns, and I am saying my Longhorns because you know how I
That's
feel about Rodney.
crazy. I'm sorry. It's crazy. Go
Well,
on.
you know how I feel about Texas. I had Texas preseason in my Final Four.
Yeah, you're just supposed to give up on that by now.
I I can't give up on everybody.
Well, we had some bad preseason predictions. Like if you have Creighton and Texas as your two teams to watch from maybe let's hang it up.
Yeah, okay. Definitely maybe look in the mirror moment. I'll never hang it up. I'll tell you that right now. But
Right.
it's still to me with this Texas team, I still think they're in the feel it out period, in my opinion, because I think there's some new pieces on the team. You bring in a player like Max Asmus, you bring in other guys like Horton. Sorry, Horton. My apologies. You bring in Horton. You're bringing in like some new pieces to the team. You're bringing in Caden Shedrick. There's still a little bit of a gel slash like onboarding period, I think, for this Texas basketball team. So there's still a little bit in me that thinks like this team could possibly turn a corner and gel and click. I just haven't seen that yet. Nothing about this game against Texas Tech, I think, will change that for me because I think this is a game they should win if they are even an okay team. But I'll never truly get out on Texas because I do think there is a world where all these pieces gel, and hopefully it's at the right time.
Okay. They have the talent, but here's my thing. I think last year's version of Texas was so much better than this year's version of Texas. I don't know what to do with that. And it's been very sleepy because they haven't played anybody since like Thanksgiving week. I mean, they played Marquette December 6th, but outside of games against UConn and Marquette, they haven't played a top 100 opponent card. Like this, they're playing like a Nebraska-esque schedule here. And they've gotten destroyed in both the games against good teams. Now, UConn and Marquette are very, very good. So, like on paper, individualized themselves, those results aren't horrible. But I would have liked to see like them hold up against anybody with a pulse at all. And we haven't even had a chance to see it. Like they needed Asmus to go crazy at the end to beat Louisville. Louisville's horrendous. And without seeing them beat anybody else, I'm just very skeptical of like what does it look like. Some of their results in December, man, like I think LSU's really, really bad. They beat them by 11 on a neutral. I guess that's a good win, but I wasn't like blown away by anything Texas did in that game. UT Arlington is their most recent game. They won by 17. Once again, really sleepy performance. Like A&M Corpus Christi win by 6. They're not beating teams by 30 that they could beat by 30. So it just kind of like leaves the door open for like maybe this team is actually really not good. And then on the Texas Tech side, same thing exactly. Like they have one win against a team in the top 100 on the season. You know who that win was against?
Who?
Michigan. So their non-Michigan 100 games, they got blown out by Villanova. They lose to Butler. So I don't know. Somebody's going to get a win that matters here because they have to. But I don't feel good picking either one. Like I haven't been impressed by either team at all.
Yeah, I don't think I've been impressed by either team at all, but I do think that there is a more impressive team ceiling on the Texas side than there is on the Texas Tech side.
Okay, what about floor though? Because I think I would argue Texas Tech's floor is higher than Texas's.
I might argue that too. I think I would also argue that McCaslin is a better coach than Rodney Terry.
Whoa, that's the first negative thing I've ever heard you say about Rodney Terry.
Yeah, and I like Rodney Terry, but I like McCaslin.
Okay. Which one would you rather go to like a
And
tech?
I and that might just be me letting the heat check guys form me, but sometimes I let them get to me and it works, and I see it with McCaslin.
Which one
Like
would you
I'll like
rather?
5 years from now, like I will be doing the gun thing and the Red Raider shooter thing. I feel like, and like Texas Tech will be good again.
Which one of those two, McCaslin or Terry, would you rather go to like a Texas barbecue spot with?
Well, Terry.
Okay. What? There seems to be some like intonation there from you.
I mean, I'm if I'm picking food, I'm gonna go with the black guy over the.
Okay. All right. All right. One of my favorite games to do with these previews is if you lined everybody up, what players are you taking? You got to pick five. I want to do a variation of that and then get to that. Who's the best player in this game?
Hey, Smith,
Who's the second best player in this game?
Pop Isaacs,
I'm surprised. I didn't think you would go to Pop so quickly, but okay, Pop goes to Isaacs. Who's the third best player in this game?
Dylan Mitchell,
Fourth,
Tyrese Hunter.
fifth.
I don't know.
Still got Shedrick, still got Dessou, still got Ithiel Horton, or you can
I
go
mean,
to
it's probably
Joe
Texas
Toussaint.
guys, but I feel like it's all Texas guys, but I feel like I'm forgetting some Texas Tech guys.
Joe Toussaint might be the one you're forgetting.
No, I'm not forgetting Joe Toussaint. See, that's the thing. Texas should win this game by 20. They should, but will they? Probably not.
And why though? That's why, like, why? Why aren't the parts better? Because we like the parts.
Yeah. I love the parts. Pause. But like we need to make the parts work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just think as we talk it through, I'm definitely more on the side of Texas, but something doesn't feel right, and I can't pinpoint what's wrong. Asmus is really fun to watch still. If you haven't been paying attention to Texas, he's still really fun to watch. He had a series of games, 3 straight games earlier this season where he had 23, 26, 25 back-to-back games. He's been more in the teens the last few. I still think like Texas is at their best if he's a 20 a game guy, and he hasn't been that. He has had a lot of turnovers in quite a few games, but he's been a better passer than I expected to, like 7 assist games a couple times. 3 of his last 5, he's had 7 assists. So kind of more of a complete guy than just a score only guy that some people thought he might be. But yeah, as we talk through it, there's not a lot that separates these teams resume wise. There's not a lot that separates these teams profile caliber wise. Like just Ken Palm numbers quickly. Offensively, Texas Tech 42nd. Defensively, Texas 43rd. I mean, that's identical. Offensively, Texas 30th. Defensively, Texas Tech 42nd in the car. Like it's gonna be very similar caliber here. The difference is this game is at home for Texas, and the difference is on paper, you and I would take 5 of the top 6 players in this game being Texas players.
When we do that, doesn't that usually mean the other team wins though?
I don't know. I at a certain point, if Texas Tech wins this game like decisively, isn't that like a big data point for McCasland?
Yes, and also a conversation starter for my sweet Prince RT.
Mm, interesting. Okay. All right. So prediction time. Ken Palm has Texas as only a 4-point favorite at home here.
All right, so you got Horns on this side, Raiders on this side. I'm gonna do the opposite of John Morant. I'm gonna tuck this. Okay. I got the Longhorns winning this game by 7 points.
Texas fans need a win right now. Quinn Ewers let them down. They could use one.
They got Penix.
You can't get Penix and then McCasland in the same week. That can't
That's
happen.
true. You gotta show some pride.
Final question. I can't believe I'm asking this, but this is real journalism, folks. Would either of these programs take Chris Beard back right now? Yes or no?
Yes,
Which one?
both. To
Both?
quote the great Drake Aubrey Graham, my moral compass is janky. It breaks in the South.
13-0 is 13-0, man. Beard has the 82nd ranked team on KenPom, 13-0 undefeated.
Crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, it saddens me that you might be right with that answer. Like, we don't support any of that, but I think Texas Tech would for sure hire him back. Which is kind of crazy because we like McCaslin, but
Yeah.
I think Texas might for sure. I don't know. Crazy stuff. I'm going Texas by 9 in this game. And it's like, it's just enough to believe in them, but it's not enough to feel like they destroyed them. Like a 57-48 game.
Crazy spin zone, absolutely wild utopia theory before we end this. RT flops. Texas takes McCaslin. Beard goes back to Texas Tech.
Texas can't take Texas Tech's guy again, can they?
If they're petty boys.
Honestly, that would be kind of funny. Like if Texas threw this game just to take McCaslin.
Yes, that'd be hilarious.
Kind of want it. Okay. All right. That's the show. Subscribe to Sleepers Media to see all of our previews and recaps this season. We'll have a recap up on this channel likely later this weekend on Sunday. That's Carter Elliott. I'm Greg Waddell. We'll see you next time.